Listen, Mr. Tillerson is clearly a bright man, and I gleaned that from our conversations. He obviously did not rise and achieve what he did at Exxon as its CEO without being a person of substance and capability. But there is a difference. There is a difference. And this is also a concern I hold with the president elect. I hope he will evolve into something different. This is not all about let's make a deal. When you want to make a deal in commercial terms, someone wants to sell something, someone wants to buy something, and the only question left is can you come to a price and terms and conditions that allow you to do so? In foreign policy, very often it's not that simple. It's not so transactional. Getting a country to do something they don't want to do, whether join you in an alliance to fight against ISIL, or to send troops to Afghanistan, or to go ahead and provide sanctions against Iran, or anything else that they may not want to do for their own interests, that's a whole different skill set. That is not a simple commercial transaction. So I did not get the sense from Mr. Tillerson that he has that understanding of what it will take. And I also don't think that he has, at this point, obviously, and I think he readily admits, he certainly doesn't have the depth of understanding of the total global picture. And I think you have to know your audience, right, in whatever role you play. So when he came to me, he must know my views on sanctions generally. He must know my views on Cuba. His answer to me on Cuba was alarming. And so he said to me, well, you don't know your audience here because, and so I worry about, do you know your audience when you're going to be in some other part of the world? The implications of that, listen, it doesn't mean that you don't have to be a foreign policy expert to ultimately be the Secretary of State, but if we look at all the people who have been Secretary of State and successfully, whether it's Madeleine Albright, or whether it was Jim Baker, and others, they were deeply immersed. They spent most of their career in the understanding of foreign policy, of diplomacy, of the tools that are available in peaceful diplomacy, in the nature of the countries they are dealing with, its leaders, its histories, and whatnot. That's a rich reservoir to draw from when you become the Secretary of State. Now, does Mr. Tillerson have relationships in the world where Exxon had interests? Yes. Has he met some of these leaders? Yes. But is it the same to say that a commercial transaction or relationships based upon commercial transactions gives you the depth of knowledge to deal with the foreign policy of the United States and its interests globally? No, but we'll see what the hearing produces.